hi there boys and girls, and welcome back to the channel. Now, old Vimes here, he has not been having a lot of fun playing World of Tanks Blitz recently. And that is because, as I explained in a previous video, I've been trying to drive lines that I wouldn't normally have driven because I've got a certain amount of ×5 boosters. And therefore I'm not driving tanks I want to drive, I'm driving lines just to get the tier 10 tanks in my garage that potentially I would not get at any other time. However, this has meant that I'm very limited as to what tanks I can play. So I'm not driving tanks that I drive for fun. However, had a nice surprise this evening when I came home from work, and I had a birthday on the mouse. So I was able to have a ×5×2 credit game. And it not use up one of my boosters, and I love driving the mouse because it is such a ridiculously stupid tank. It's an armored monster. It's almost impossible to make credits with it unless you run premium account and do quite a lot of damage, and it's just a ridiculous tank, but it is so much fun to drive. I can honestly say this is probably, just for the element of fun, this is probably my favourite tier 10 tank. Not because I'm good in it, not because of any great gameplay, but it is just a huge amount of fun. And it's even more fun when you get this. You get some mouse on mouse action. So we're playing a skirmish game here. I am platooned up with a buddy from FDC, Martin S. Horn, and yeah, as soon as this battle started, I've just decided, don't really care what's happening in the rest of the battle, I am going for the mouse. I want some mouse on mouse action, and I don't do a particularly great job of it, to be fair. I think I do duff a couple of shots. There's one of them, but there is nothing funnier than two of these tanks just trying to square off at each other. Now we managed to I've basically decided that, especially in skirmish mode, I've noticed that you know, the best thing to do with the mouse is to literally try and get it towards the cap circle. You're not going to flank anything with it, and bounce another shot off him there. So this mouse on mouse action is not really going well, and this has just got to be the silliest thing of all time. Two mouse drivers trying to circle each other to death. It's got to be the slowest, worst ballet of all time, but it is hilariously good fun. Unfortunately, I think he slightly beats me on the reload here, and he does take me out. But thankfully, we have done enough with the able assistance of my platoon mate, and M48 comes past here, does a quick drive-by and finishes it off for the win. And it's just hugely good fun. Not great damage, and there is the problem with the mouse. You hardly ever make money with it. But I didn't get any kills, not a lot of damage, and I didn't actually bounce a lot of shots in there either. But that was just a huge amount of fun with the mouse on mouse action there. However, obviously I'm going to put the worst game first. I've got a couple more for you. Me still driving the mouse in the wonderful legionary camo on there. And all of for some reason I just kept getting skirmish games on the same map. So sometimes slightly different positions on the map, but mostly the same map. We're going to roll out towards the battleship area on Yamato Harbour here, and this is literally what the mouse does best. You literally rock it backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. Try and keep your lower plate covered. Try not to look directly at the tank that's potentially going to fire at you, because the weak point is the cheeks at either side of the gun mantlet. But here we go, mouse on mouse again, and you're going to see just what a nightmare it is to try and pen these damn things if they're angled up correctly. So me and our fella here, we're going to have a pretty good sort of medium range engagement in these two armored monsters. So he manages to get one through the side of my cheek armor there. So I'm going to roll forward, take a bounce from a TD. I'm going to roll forward here, get my lower plate covered, and then just keep doing this. This is what a mouse does best all game. Roll backwards and forwards and draw fire. I remember listening to an interview with a guy who played in Twisted Cup finals, pro player, and his job on the team was to drive the mouse. He only ever drove in the team when the map favoured a mouse, something like a town map where you've got, or you can get a little bit of cover for your side armour, and his job was simply to do this, to absorb damage. His own team actually used to tell him off if he did more than about 2,000 damage a game, purely and simply because that was not his job. His job was to do this, to keep sucking up damage. Now, I haven't done a lot of damage in this game so far, but I've already bounced 1,400. My hit point pool is still reasonably intact, and I've potentially got shots off to the right here. So I'm going to clear this guy up pretty quickly, and I'm still making sure that this enemy mouse is tied down. Just go backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, and it is just a huge amount of fun. I don't judge success in this tank by how many kills I get, or even to a certain extent how much damage I get. For me, a good game is bouncing 3,000-4,000 worth of damage in this tank, because that's what this tank is for. It's just such a ridiculous monster, but I just enjoy playing it so much. So I did manage to get a quick pen into my opposite numbers cheek armor there. I take this guy out on the flank for my second kill, and now my foe in the enemy mouse has decided to very sneakily try and outflank me, dastardly swine that he is, and so we can't have this. So yeah, literally, here we go, boys and girls. This is going to be the slowest hot pursuit of all time. So you got two mouse drivers going around the gun turrets on the battleship at Yamato Harbour, trying not to show each other their side armour. So I do actually manage to get a quick shot into his side here. Don't want to poke out here because he'll do exactly the same to me. He's already angled his tank up faster than I have, so go back, try and angle the tank. Don't have the ability to pull back there, that's why I take that shot. So I need to be able to get in a position where I can angle the tank better, so come out here at a better angle. Thankfully he's looking at a teammate, and I managed to get the clear on him for my third kill. So even though we started the game with 3,000 hit points, which is another reason why these tanks are used a lot in tournaments, they can absorb an awful lot of damage even if they do get penned. So here we go, we're going to chase this last guy down. It's not going to be a fast chase obviously, but we're going to try and chase this guy down and effectively try to do a drive-by in a mouse, which is always going to be hilarious, and manage to clear the last guy for my fourth kill. So yeah, 2,400 damage, 4 kills, just a really fun game with some good mouse on mouse action there. So game number 3, I'm platooned up again with Martin S. Horn from TFDC, fellow deputy leader of TFDC, and we're on the same map again. So I'm going to head up to the battleship area once again, and this is funny for a number of different reasons. Martin's driving the E50. Which is actually great because it means I've got a medium tank that's on my flank, which hopefully will negate any light or medium tank getting behind me. So that just allows me to do my job, which is to sit here, roll backwards and forwards, and see if I can absorb some damage. So there we go, we're already starting to bounce. Our friend here is not the brightest or sharpest tool in the box. He keeps coming out sideways against a mouse, which is ultimately not going to end well for him. I am aware that I've got a light tank off to my right, but yep, this is mouse driving. This is about as good as a driver you have to be to be a good mouse driver. Keep your lower plate covered, backwards, forwards, turn your gun away when they're going to shoot at you. That is pretty much it. However, it's just a huge amount of fun. So we managed to whack another shell in there, take another bounce. So as you can see, bounced more damage than I've taken. That is exactly the mouse driver's job. And we're pretty much holding our position here. Martin is still not too far away, making sure that I'm not getting flanked. Now, I did over angle the turret there to try potentially get a look to a target at the side, so that cost me a hit, and another hit goes in there, so I have to re-angle up. However, we're just going to maintain our position here. Maintain the angle. Your biggest defense with this tank, the thing that keeps your gun in the game the longest, is angling your armor effectively, because when it's angled it is very, very difficult to pen. Now I'm getting pushed on by a light tank, which means I really don't want this guy behind me, so I'm just going to go for a hard reverse, try and keep my tank angled to the front. Take another bounce there. Now why this guy doesn't try and get further behind me, I don't know. He does come out and poke. I do duff that shot, however. So I've managed to keep my angle. However, it's a 2-on-2, and the bad guys are 2 light tanks, which I really don't want one of these guys to get behind me. So I managed to get a shot in there. Now we're going to try and focus fire the one target, so he's going to push round. We're going to stick a shot in the back of him, manage to get him tracked. Thankfully we get him cleared. However, my friendly light tank has been taken out, and now you get the sort of the worst of all worlds. One-on-one action, but one's a light tank and one is a mouse. Now this is about the time when the Sheridan driver on our team starts getting really daft in chat and keeps telling me to go for the base. I know to go for a base, you moron. Haven't you watched the Vimes video? I don't talk about anything else apart from going for bases. What I really don't want is a light tank getting up behind me, so I want to know where he is before I commit to which route I take. So I've lost sight of this light tank now, which makes me think he's definitely flanked around these buildings. So I'm gonna try and get the base. Now I'm fairly aware that I'm probably going to be showing this guy the weaker part of my armor, so I'm going to try and get into the base as quickly as possible, and then basically keep turning this tank as fast as it turns, and that's not quick, but as fast as it turns, purely and simply because my only effective defense here is to keep this tank angled and not let this guy run circles around me. So I managed to just about get the tank turned there to take yet another bounce. Bounced over 3,000, just well 3,000 damage now. And instead of potentially taking sniper shots at me, he's gonna stay in range. So I do manage to get a quick shot into the side of him there, and I'm just turning as much as I can, effectively just trying to keep the front of my tank pointed towards this guy. Now, by being in the base and doing exactly that, I am racking up the cap points. He takes another shot, I take another bounce. That's 3,600 damage now, and then I do manage indeed to get the final kill on him, final shot on him. That's for the kill. So thank you very much for your advice, Mr. Sheridan, but I think I was okay with just over 4,100 damage in that game. So anyway, just wanted to show you those games. I had a huge amount of fun playing them. Thank you to Martin S. Horn for tuning up with me in those. Thank you very much indeed for watching, boys and girls, and as always, good hunting and bye for now.